Hello again. Welcome back, y'all. Happy Friday to ya. It's been a minute, but we're back, and I'm pumped for it. I hope you are too, because you know what today is. On Fridays, we make fantasy maps, and sometimes wear pink, maybe, I don't know. But today, fantasy map, for sure. The coffee's hot. The energy is, well, it's kind of here. We'll get it going as the stream progresses. But what's going to make it all better? Working on a fantasy map. I'm pretty pumped about it. I hope y'all are. I'm excited to see how it goes today. So please come on in, join me, talk in chat if you want. Let me know what you're thinking, what you've been doing, and I'll make a fantasy map at the same time. It's always weird at the beginning of stream talking to no one because of the way TikTok works. You start with nobody here. You can't like do the pre-show like you'd have on YouTube or ooh, that's got to be a record. I made it 1 minute and 17 seconds into stream before I said a word TikTok doesn't like. Red app. We'll say red app. You can do a pre-show there. They don't like that on TikTok too much. Anyway, y'all, we got to figure out. I got this big, beautiful river system we made on the last stream, but it doesn't go anywhere on the original map. Let's get some opacity up. Let's look at this little template we got here for our original map. It goes like that. Yeah, see, the river just runs out. It doesn't go anywhere. We gotta work on that. Where's this river going, y'all? We gotta figure it out. So let's do it. Fat Frog, my friend. Welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. How you been? Happy Friday to you, man. Everything going well with you, I hope? Jam, you said it's got to find low ground and a large body of water. Yep, I guess that's kind of the rules of rivers, isn't it? It's very much so. I think largely, the river's starting up in these mountains, particularly here as well, because these are very, very tall mountains that are capturing a lot of moisture, trapping it down here and stopping it from getting to the high desert. But up here is a little different, so I'm thinking it probably just flows out to the coast, there-ish, somewhere out here. Let's just take a shot at it and see. Nah, not too obvious, Jam. You're spot on, my guy. Let me expand chat here so I can read a few more comments. Baffo, you said, what recommendations do you have for a newbie making a fantasy map? I've always struggled with it. Just have fun with it. I think don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't worry about it being completely geographically accurate. Don't worry about it making sense. Like, just have fun with it. I think that's the first step. And then just make a lot of them. Like, just keep going and going. You get better as you go. And I think that's kind of the important part, is just keeping going. I can't see my cursor. There it is. Okay. So I kind of want this river just to be moving, meandering off towards the coast. Something kind of like that. I'm not sure I love it, though. I do want to said add something that's inherently geographically wrong and call it magic. Is that advice for starting a fantasy map? Because that is a very good tool in the toolbox. Baffo, I do enjoy gaming. I've been playing a lot of Ark Raiders recently, but Roadcraft, Rocket League, etc., whole bunch of stuff. I've been gaming for years and years. What was your favorite thing they debuted yesterday? Bread Baker, you're a fan of scary forests? Oh, we're going to have many of those on this map. I'm a big fan of those. This whole swamp, if I can get my cursor back. Here we go. This whole swamp down here is pretty spooky. I can't read your name. I think it's in Mandarin or Japanese. I have trouble telling the two scripts apart, but this is Incarnate. It is an online map maker. All right, where do we think this river's going, y'all? Could be like that. Could be like that. Could just take a dive right into the ocean. Hey, welcome in, Meg and Jack Ann. Good to see you. Happy Friday to you as well. I feel like I don't want this river to be too straight. I feel like it needs to meander a little bit. Visit's going well, Jack Ann. In fact, my parents are leaving town this morning. So here I am, back with you guys, and happy to be here. Baffo, you said Dragon Age Origins put you on a path of being obsessed with freaky fantasy lore. Hey, that's a good place to be. That's a good place to be. Fans brother over on Video App, we're making a fantasy map, my guy. Welcome in. Here's the map as it stands, and we're going to keep working on it. Other name, you said it feels like we just got back to Bag End from a journey to Mordor. Well, look, my parents visiting wasn't that bad now, was it? Jam, you said another mountain at the river source? Yeah, we can do something like that. Dracula, what's up, buddy? Been a minute. Good to see you. And Raffi, welcome in. Sung Moon, hello. Everybody's here now. How y'all doing? The program, Lorme, is Incarnate. It's an online map maker. And we're trying to figure out where this river goes, because it just kind of dead ends. Here's the thing. I feel since I'm struggling with it, we need to add some sort of unique geography up in here. Let's get something a little unique. Spires Caleb, you want to be a hunter on the map? You just need a hunting cabin? Alright, Caleb. You tell me where on the map you want your cabin. I'll put a little mark and we'll make sure we get something there. Jam, you said a plateau could be the geographic feature that goes at the end of the river. It could be. I think I'm thinking here's the original map that we're expanding, right? This little guy, if we can get it on here, it fits just like that. So that's the map that we expanded out, right? And in it, the river flows. Oh, you know what? We should do that. Oh, I love that. Okay. In the original map, this foggy arrow is the Barrows of Blissful Bewilderment. Area we created on stream, if you all remember, where when you go into this deep fog that haunts these barrows, it scrambles your thoughts. You can't remember why you're there or how to get out. What if we just have the river disappear into that fog, doesn't come out the other side, and the map itself doesn't show what's in there? I think that could be cool and ominous. Spires Caleb, you said in the mountains near a river is what you want for your cabin. Alright, well I'm going to put a little mark on the map just for you, my guy. And we're going to put a cabin. I'm going to put it right here. Oh, I'm painting the background instead of the foreground. I'll put it right here. That's going to be where your cabin's going to go. Right there on the edge of the mountains overlooking the swamp. Yeah, I really like the idea of the river just disappearing into this creepy, foggy area. I think that's going to be really cool, actually. Faye, you said, is this for a book I'm writing or just for funsies? No, it is for this book, which it's actually out now. It's linked in my bio if you want to check it out. But it's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord and all the wonderful wacky ways they mess that up because they're goblins. They're not good at what they do. Meg, thank you for the panther claw. What was that? Panther paws. That was amazing. How cool. Thank you, Meg. I appreciate that. Alright, so let's see. We're going to put some hills in here. We're going to remake the barrows because those are canonically here. Faye, yes, very appropriate for a 10-year-old. You know, I wrote it for adults. Like I was like, oh, it's like an adult humor book. And then it got really popular with the young adult and middle grade crowd. And I went, huh, maybe my sense of humor is not as mature as I thought it was. Perhaps I get along better with middle school kids. All right, let's grab some hills. Now, Incarnate has recently updated their interface. There we go. That's how we get to all the stamps. I need a couple hills in here. Oh, Joe, thank you, my man. I appreciate that. You said your 10-year-old daughter got it and she loved it. You got a signed copy. Hey, rock on, man. I'm so glad she liked it. That's legitimately one of the coolest things in the world to hear. That makes me so ridiculously happy. I'm so glad y'all liked it. Did she read it herself, or did you read it with her? Like, how'd that go, man? Someone asked, Davin, you said, do I do my own art for the cover? No, I wish I was this talented, but big shout out. This is done by Ivan Shavrin. He's been my cover artist for this. I love working with him. And in fact, he did the prequel novella for this as well. He did the art for A Wriggly Little Assistant. And he'll be doing the art for the sequel, which I'm writing now. All of these are linked in my bio if you want to check them out. All right, so we'll plop a couple hills down here to recreate the Barrows of Blissful Bewilderment. And then there were trees, which we need to get in there. Oh, Joe, she read it all on her own, man. That's awesome. you got a good kid there. That's a good place to be, man. I love starting them early with the reading. Thank you for the follows, everybody. I appreciate you. You're too kind. The art gives you 90s cartoon vibes. Yeah, I can see that. It is pretty goofy, you know. It fits that realm pretty well. I really didn't know what I was doing when I started writing it. I just wanted to write a goofy book. Wanted to write a comedy. And here we are. Alright, we'll get a couple more hills in here. There we go. Let's take a look at those. Yeah, those are looking alright. I think the stamp scale is a little bit small. This one is a 52. Okay, so we need to keep these around 52 in scale. So this guy's too small. But it's going to be too big if I make it 52. So we're going to replace it with something else. Maybe like this guy. There we go. And then this one also is too small on stamp scale. So, sorry buddy, you're going to get replaced as well. Maybe with like this one, and then make sure the scale is correct. There we go. New York Yank, the application is Incarnate, right here. It is an online map maker. I just put the name in chat. If you Google that, it'll come up. It's a wonderful, wonderful free online map maker. I know a lot of people use it for D&D, which I think is a great way to use it. All right, so looking at here's the full map, but I actually wanted to work today. I was thinking, y'all, I wanted to work over here. I don't even know what goes on in this like peninsula thing. I was thinking about going over there. I think that's where we're going to spend most of the time. But for the moment, I'm going to finish up the Barrows of Blissful. It's intentionally a goofy name, but it is hard to say. The Barrows of Blissful Bewilderment, which is going to be this area right here. We'll turn the opacity up so you can see it. Or if we go back to this map, this is one of the first maps we made on stream. Here it is in all its glory. We're making this area right up here. I'm putting this onto the bigger map. So we're going to need to get some trees in there. And then a lot of fog. And we need a tower as well. We'll start with the trees. I'm still learning the new layout that Incarnate has done here, so there's gotta be a better way to get to the stamps, and I'm just whiffing on it. So that's tweak colors, that's randomized stamps, catalog. That's just one way to get there. So let's go back to catalog, we'll type in tree, and they got some holiday trees, that's fun. The barrows were just like normal trees. So we're going to do this. There we go. Alright, and we're going to plop some of these trees down in there. Oh wow, they got to be a lot bigger than that. I'm also going to turn this opacity down. So it's not blocking the way too much. Monkey, coming in with the Asmongold reference. Now, I think, Monkey, that you're aware that people call me that, and that's why you said it. It wasn't a genuine one, right? Joe, absolutely. Good morning to you, Lily. I'm so glad you enjoyed reading Wriggly Little Hands. Thank you for enjoying it. I hope you had good fun with Ollie and his goblin companions on their adventure. And I hope you have a good day at school today. Thanks for tuning in. And tell your daddy's awesome. Josh, I have played Civilization 4. Oh, Livy, not Lily. Oh, sorry, Joe. Did I read that wrong? It's early. I'm still getting the coffee down. It did say Livy. Oh, I'm so sorry. Everything I just said but Livy instead of Lily. Livy, who is your favorite character in Wriggly Little Hands? Let me know. I can put them in the sequel. I can make sure they're in there for you. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, guys, we're just going to put a couple of these trees down in here as we recreate this forest. But these are the outskirts. These are just like a little bit of, a couple of trees here on the outskirts. We're going to get, let me move this for now. We'll go freestyle here. And we're going to make this forest tool. So you saw me place individual stamps there, you just bloop, 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 drop some trees in. But we can tweak settings. I don't think you can see this. Let me change my view. There we go. You can see it there. We can tweak the settings to place more of them. If I can remember how to do it with the new UI. Yeah, we're going to put the area up. So now when I place trees, it'll place a whole bunch of them all at once. Now that's probably too many. But now we can just do this. And bam, pop forest in, just like that. How cool is that? Look at that. Now we got a whole forest going on here. For those asking, the program is Incarnate. It is an online map maker. I highly recommend it. It's a whole ton of fun. And now, look at that. We got our forest going right there. We just make sure these hills stay visible. Sometimes the trees will drown them out. In fact, I think the hills probably need to be a little bit bigger, huh? Do I have any other hills present? I have one other hill present on the map right here. Its scale is set to 82. And these are set to 52. So we're going to bump these up in size because I want to keep those scales relatively consistent. Just makes the map look a little bit better. So there we go. That's similar size. Thank you for the follows, by the way, everybody. I appreciate you. Oh, you want to see the whole thing, Sterling? Yeah. We can zoom out for you. It's horizontal, so it doesn't fit the best on screen, but here's the map as it stands now. Let's see. Catch up on chat. I missed a few things. General Nutty, you said you've used this before, but you didn't like the results. Your whole continent was covered in trees. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You learn as you go, right? It's easy to overuse the trees, though. They're so cool. I totally feel you. You should make a forest full of cannibals disguised as nature lovers. Yeah. Creepy, but fun. Alright, so we're going to go... See, these trees kind of blocking the hills a little bit. We're just going to finesse, move them out of there a little bit. And also it helps if you make sure the hills are on your top layer so that they are not obscured by anything. And now, the last thing I need to do here is... This was a foggy area in the original map, which was right here. Click over to it. Very, very foggy, right? So I need to get some of these clouds in here. Now, I've never done clouds on this parchment map style, so we're going to figure out how that works. Vermont Gin, you said, what do I use the maps for? Well, I use them for my books. When I'm not streaming, I'm a full-time fantasy and sci-fi author, and this map specifically is for this book up here. Wriggly Little Hands, which is a comedy fantasy about goblins on a quest to save the Dark Lord, and all the wacky and whimsical ways they mess it up, because they're goblins. Why would you send them to do anything important? Surely that would not go smoothly. And what we're making here is the world they journey through. CC Bear, the program is called Incarnate. Vermont, yeah, thank you for the toss-up. I appreciate that. All right, let's see if we can find some clouds for this map type. Yeah, I wonder if we're going to have trouble doing the fog, because this is a different map than the original was made on, different asset pack. So like clouds on this one, let's turn it on to single. Place one at a time. Yeah, see, it places clouds like that. Maybe I can change it to turn the shadow off. Because, so the issue here, the original region, that map pack that I use for this is called Fantasy World, and you can see it's very bright and colorful, right? This is what it looks like. But as I have made more maps for my books, I want them to look more like this. This is a little, it's still colorful, but it's more fantasy feeling. Feels a little older, you know, with the parchment style. And there are different asset packs, different stamps and stuff you can use between these two styles. So I'm not able to get these transparent foggy clouds on this map style. So I need to find a way to recreate it somehow. The cloud itself that I've got here is not a bad option if I could turn this shadow off. So we're gonna pop into the settings here and see what we can do about that. It says shadow right here, but it's set to none already. Yeah, see, that's a different one. This shadow is actually a part of the art on the cloud. So I don't think I can turn that off. Interesting. Little Tim, you said you're not good at Incarnate? That's alright, man. It's all practice, right? I wasn't good for a long time. But you just have fun with it. Keep doing it, you'll get better. Ronnie, good morning. Good to see ya. And Lestro, hello, hello. Welcome in, y'all. So what are we gonna do about these clouds? I need a foggy area here. Oh, cheat and go get the other mist? That's not a bad idea, Meg. Okay, hold on. Maybe we can do that. Suburban Boy, it's called Incarnate. MHQ over on Video App. Good morning, my friend. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Alright, so here, I'll show you what I'm doing off to the side here. These are my asset packs that come with Incarnate. I'm working in Parchment World, so I'm picking stamps from it to keep the art consistent. But because I don't have an option for clouds, we're gonna really quickly dip into Fantasy World, and we're gonna. Oh, you know, this one might work. Does it have a shadow on it? It doesn't. Nah, I don't think that's quite right. We could try this one. Nah. All right, so we're gonna dip into Fantasy World and steal the fog. See that fog that we just put in right there, and we're just gonna, I'm gonna take a little bit of the color out of it to make it work better for what we're doing here. Because it's too vibrant right now; it's too bright compared to the rest of the art. Let's get into the color settings. Maybe just the opacity. Yeah, if we turn the opacity down, it actually starts to blend quite well. And we're gonna drop the scale as well. No, actually, you know what? The opacity, when I drop it, it starts to show stuff behind it, which isn't what I'm looking for. I'm looking for it to be to obscure the art, So let's see. I'm sure there's something we can do here. I'm surprised there's no actual color setting options. Ego, we're using Incarnate to make this. And for those asking in chat, here's the full map as it stands now. Nizen, the map is for one of my books. They're all linked in my bio if you want to check them out, but mostly fantasy. And this is for the book I'm writing right now, the sequel I'm writing right now. Book 1's already out. Alright. I feel that there used to be color settings here. Maybe we can mess with the blend mode. No, that's not doing it either. Thank you for the follows, by the way. I appreciate it. Fat Frog, you said you really love this art style. I agree. I agree. I mean, it pops so much in this style, the fantasy world style. Like, it looks really cool. But it doesn't look like a fantasy book map, you know? But then when you get into the parchment style, it looks like a fantasy book map. That's what I'm going for. That's why we're working with it. Meg, you said, I think you had a 2-part comment? Maybe not? You said there is because I just made gray mist the other day. I think you mean color options for my mist here. I don't see it though. There's shadow, opacity, blend mode, blur. All I can think is there's an expanded settings that I'm not getting from the new UI because I'm still not good with it yet. But I don't see it. I don't know where it is. Stacy's mom, was there any inspiration for the map? Yeah, there definitely. Well, so actually, there was several things that inspired me, but one of the main ones is that I had settings that were mentioned in the book. So this is the book. It's linked in my bio. It's my most recent book. So there are settings in it that I specifically wanted on this map. So like the goblins themselves begin their journey right down in here in the swamp, and they go up here to legally distinct Mordor to meet the Dark Lord and get their quest from him, and then they journey out through the world. So there were a couple settings in here that had to be on the map, and then the rest we're just making as we go, because I'm going to write more books in this world, and I want to have a big map for them all. Meg, you think you made it with shadow? You think you took the shadow and did a huge offset? Interesting. Interesting. There's definitely a way to do it. Let me try to grab a different fog, though. Because I really like this one, this cloud. If I could get rid of its shadow. I don't know if I can, though. I didn't see any options to do that. I wish I could manually edit the stamp. I guess I could. Meg, there was wine involved, so you can't quite remember how you did it. Incredible. Oliver, I'm doing this for this book right here, Wriggly Little Hands. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord, and all the ways they messed that up. It's linked in my bio. You can get an audiobook, paperback, ebook, however you want. It's out there in the world. Alright, y'all, I'm not sure if I can figure out this cloud thing right now. There's also this cloud art style, but it doesn't look very foggy, does it? Let's get into let's go back to Fantasy World. Do we have anything else for... Here, you can see the assets this way. For fog. Yeah, we got cloud. Yeah, it's really just these three. And then if I go to Parchment World, it's just this one. What about Fantasy Regional? Okay, wow, that's cool. Tornado Cloud Swirl. That's sick. I want to stick that on the map just because that's cool. Let me try this one. And can I alter the color of it? Doesn't look like it. Clouds are a weird thing in Incarnate. This Tornado Cloud Swirl is very cool. I'm a fan of this one. We'll have to put that somewhere on the map. Alright, let's try this guy, this gray fog here. I can't alter the color of it very much. I want its opacity to be high. But it does kind of work. Let's just get a whole bunch of it. Slap it down in there. Slindy, hey, welcome in, Slindy. This is meant to be a misty fog more than it is clouds. This is the Barrows of Blissful Bewilderment, which you'll remember from the last map. So it's supposed to be cloudy to where you almost can't see it in here. I do like this. I just wish the color on them was a little different. And typically you can't... Oh, tweak colors! You, Alex, come on now. Y'all, I'm so bad. This was all totally... I just literally missed the option. Hold on, we can make this work now. This is the fog that I wanted. And tweak colors. There's the option, y'all. Look at this. It was right here the whole time. I can totally change the color of it. So let's do that. So I can use the clouds that I originally wanted and we'll make it the color that we want. Which one, though? Which of the clouds do we like more? I'm going for fog, y'all. What do we think? The left one or the right one? Color subject to change. Left, seen a lot of votes for the left. Let's tweak some colors on it. There we go. See, something kind of like it was too bright earlier. I'm thinking something a little darker, a little less standout. That's kind of got some green coming in there. Oh, there we go. Turn the brightness down. That makes it look good. Contrast was probably good where it was. We'll reset that. I kind of like that creepy green in it. Eloquent. This is for my book. One of my books. But here's the full map as it stands. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Draconios. Dracnios. There we go. I was expecting it to say Draconis. Got too much fantasy on the brain. Alright, we can get rid of that cloud. That one's not making it. I'm going to tweak the colors on this one too, just to see if... Yeah, I get more color options in this cloud. I think I'm going to go with that one. We'll put them both in there and see what we think we like more. But I really would like to get like kind of a tan color, something like this. Ooh, not so bright as that though. Because I want it to really block these trees. There we go. See, that's kind of the creepy color I was looking for. Ego, you liked the green? All right, so yeah, we're gonna put this in here. Hill, you got to be in the fog, my guy. The creepy fog area only works if the fog is in fact creepy and blocking things. All right, and now we're gonna put different versions of this stamp all around in there, and we're just make it all nice and foggy, creepy. And I really, the whole reason this started is I want to block out this river here. This river, I think it's a really fun idea that this river right here runs into this area, goes into the fog, and you just don't see it again. Doesn't come out the other side, and who knows where it goes. Alright, now that's probably a little bit too dense on the fog. I do want the suggestion of topography beneath it. Hills, forests, all that stuff. So I need to turn down the opacity a little bit on some of these clouds. There we go. See how you can see through it, but not that well? That's kind of what I'm going for. And I think I'd like to make the coastline here extra clouded as well. Because this is just supposed to be like an unnatural patch of fog in here. But I need to make it thicker right around where the river is so that you can't see where the river goes. I might need to actually, to create this effect, I might need to ease the river out. It's a little bit too stark of a cutoff right now. So let's super zoom in on it. Get a small brush size, like a 4. And we're gonna thread this river in a little bit more. And then let it run out of sight. Like that. And now we're going to grab this cloud and put it like, there we go. And And now I want a couple of the hills to be visible in there. Maybe to do that, we grab some hills and put them here on the outskirts. Since it's so dense in there. There we go. Alright, there's our creepy fog region. Looks like a Valheim map. Hey, I'll take that. Valheim's a lovely game. Tactical Raccoon. Yeah, so I'm using Incarnate to make this. And it does have a free tier for map making. I'm on the paid tier, but just because I stream it, want to have all the stuff available. But I used the free tier for a long time. It's great. Ton of fun. Very useful. Alex, you said I need an ice region. Well, up here, you see I've painted it a bit white. This is going to be a frozen region up here. I'm not sure what's going on there yet. But we'll get there. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with this so far. Our creepy barrows of blissful bewilderment. Good start. Ego, you said, does Incarnate have issues with me using their assets for my book? So if you're on the paid tier, one of the big perks of the paid tier is you get the right to publish the assets in a book or whatever commercial product you want. So it's one of the reasons to be on the paid tier. In the free tier, you can't do that. All right. Well, let me get a quick save. I haven't even saved it once today. Weekly, you want to see the golden tree? So it's not there yet, but if we go back to the original map, where do I have it at? It's somewhere in here. Let me go to my folder. I don't see it on that one. Here, it's going to be on this one. Load it on up. It's going to take a second. I haven't opened this map on the new Incarnate 2.0, so it's got to load it for a moment. This is better than SimCity or City Skylines. It's really similar, right? It's very similar. Also, Rich Guy, shout out for the Maple Leafs logo, man. I'm a hockey fan myself. Weekly, here's your golden tree. We are going to rebuild this area, this beautiful autumnal ravine valley. We're going to rebuild this in the new map. For those that don't know, this was the original map in that different art style. And I said, as I was talked about earlier, I wanted to turn it into the Parchment World style. So we're basically rebuilding our favorite parts of this into Parchment World. So anyway, the golden tree is going right in here, Weekly. That's where we're going to put... If you see, here's my stamp from the old map. We can make it less opaque, and it's going to go right up in here. We're going to put this grove right in there. You can see, it just fits right in. Like that. There you go. You can kind of see it now. I mean, hey, we can work on that. We can work on that. It just, we made it so it just fits in so well. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's pivot onto that. We need to stick some mountains in here. And then, we start with rivers. So let's carve out some rivers. 4-6, you know there will be a fishing dock, my guy. Just for you. Always, always. Now, where it's going to go, who knows? We got to have the Easter eggs. Alright, there's one river. We're just going to go to a waterfall. And we got another one here. I need to go on a smaller brush size. Let's go down to 3 for that. Because this is a really small 2 streams that meet to make the river. The waterfall, sorry. Here's another river like that. This was like a lake going on back in here, kind of rivers and lake. The mountains obscure it. And that was another waterfall here and here. Waterfall here And here, you can't really see him, but we will in a moment. 4-6, you said, I got to get ready. You're trying to keep your grades up for finals. Hey, for sure, my guy. Keep those grades up. That's super important. I appreciate you, dude. It's good that you're aware of that and working toward it. I like it. I slacked off in school for many years because I was smart enough to not try that hard and still get decent grades. But that's not helping yourself in the long run. I took years and years of language classes in school because I had to, and I didn't want to pay attention. I just kind of, did the bare minimum. And then I graduated and realized I actually really enjoy learning other languages. And so now I have to pay to learn other languages and study them on my own time. Whereas if I had just paid attention in school, I'd be a lot further along. Thank you for the follows, by the way, everybody. I seriously appreciate y'all. I'm so glad TikTok brought the follow noise back so I can hear it. I don't have to, see the notification. I can just hear it come in. All right, there we go. There's the rivers for our little area here. Jet, you said, what do I use these maps for? So I use them for my books. Specifically, this one is for this book right here, Wriggly Little Hands, which is a comedy fantasy about goblins going on a road trip to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapons so they can help him defeat those pesky forces of good. But they're goblins, so that they mess it up at every turn. It really just turns into a comedic series of misadventures as they get pretty much everything wrong. But yeah, so that's what this map's for. And I do them for my other books as well. Currently, we're working on this beautiful little glade in here. But you know what? Let's turn the opacity down for a minute. I'm going to put some waterfalls in. We need the waterfalls. Oh, I don't know if they have waterfalls in Parchment World. We're going to see. They have a symbol for it. Interesting. I don't know how that's going to work out. That doesn't look particularly waterfall-y, so I might need to steal that from the other pack as well. Sean, you said, how'd the Crater Lakes go? It's in there. It's right here. We got to finish doing the art for it, but it's in there for now. Abeck, if you like how the book sounds, it's linked in my bio. You can pick it up on an audiobook or ebook or paperback. You can even get signed copies if you want. I don't know how those waterfalls are going to look at full zoom. It's okay. I think it's all right. We'll put it like that. And we got a couple more we got to do in here. This guy right here. And now we need a left-facing one. This was a little... I'm going to have to move the river because the waterfall doesn't quite fit. Or change the waterfall type. Got this guy here. I think I had one like this here. And then I needed this little rivulet. A ribbon waterfall, I think they're called. Abeck, it is on Audible. It is. In fact, is a wonderful audiobook done by the folks over at Sound Booth Theater. They did an amazing job making the audiobook. I am just so chuffed with the work they did. It's incredible. Someone in chat mentioned changing the hue of the water so it fits the rivers, and that is a great idea. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, purple, right? Pink? That's the color we should go with? Now I need to get a blue, like this, and then maybe down saturation a little bit. Kind of to like there. Oh, opened a new tab. And then turn the brightness down a little bit. I kind of like the brightness where it was. Is it saturation then maybe? I think that's pretty close. Yeah, that's darn close right there. There we go. Oh, interesting, Thunder. You got the audiobook through Amazon Music. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that word. Oops. But interesting. I didn't know it was for sale there, but it is on Audible, owned by that company, so that makes sense. Declan over on Video App, my friend. Welcome in. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for joining me on this Friday morning. Hope you're doing well, dude. Alright, this waterfall doesn't fit in its assigned little area there. We gotta figure out a solution for that. I don't think I can make it... I can make it smaller. It's just gonna be hard to see. You know? Like, I think that makes it too small. I think we just need to move the river a little bit. That's gonna be the easiest solution here, so... we'll just fill this in. And then we're just gonna make the river flow to the waterfall like there. Kind of something like that. Jay, we are using Incarnate to make this. It is an online map maker. Free and paid tiers, if you want. Highly recommend it. I have so much fun with it. Oh, didn't mean to move that. There we go. Sapix, we're making it for my book. My comedy fantasy. This is the world it takes place in. I'll go ahead and move this for a moment. You can see the progress as it is now. I think these clouds, this foggy area we made, might need to have it lowered opacity on the clouds. They block a little too much. We'll fine tune it until we get it right. I do want it to be mysterious and foggy in there, but not just a giant blank spot, you know? It's always a balance to get that just right. I have heard of Dungeon Draft. Whoever asked that, where was that? I'm not sure. Sorry, chat scrolled by too quick. But yes, I have heard of Dungeon Draft. I've not used it, but it's one of the many fine map-making tools out there. Canvas of Kings is another great one. Alright, so I had a bunch of trees in here, so we're going to need to do that. Get those in there. Sterling, you gotta go. You gotta order some pizza. Ooh, man. It's 7:49 a.m. where I am, but pizza sounds dang good. Enjoy that for me. Quittens, you said you're a water resource geographer. Congrats on getting some nice rivers. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I try to make them at least decently realistic. But, you know, it's only so much we can do. Allie, you said, what program is this? You're looking for a map maker for your D&D campaign? Well, this is called Incarnate. I'll put the name in chat for you there. It is an online map maker. It is perfect for D&D. It's really good at that sort of thing. Battle maps and whatnot. You know, the waterfalls still aren't quite the same color as the water. I'm going to do a little bit more hue adjustment here. I don't think we're going to be able to get it perfect. But that's darn close right there. And I also want to make sure where the rivers meet the waterfalls, the river is as wide as the top of the waterfall stamp. It just makes it look a little more natural. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate that. Seriously. Y'all are amazing. Alright. There we go. Although this guy needs to be rotated a little bit. Kind of like that. Not too much, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Alright, now we got to get some trees in here. You see the region we're drawing it from, if I turn the opacity up on it, has a lot of trees in there. Autumnal trees. This is our eternal fall area. Like that. So we're gonna get some trees in here. Oh, and a lot of mountains too. Charlie, you said, what lit RPGs have I written? So these three down here, this one's actually a trilogy, this one's a 5-book series, and this one's a standalone. So those are all my lit RPGs, and I had the pleasure of co-writing this series with my buddy Luke Chimlenko, who, if you're into lit RPG, you might be aware of. Absolute joy working with him, and we just finished book 5. I actually got the cover of it today, or yesterday, and book 4 will be out in March, and then book 5 sometime after that. But that's going to be a finished 5-book series. All right, so let's put some trees in here. What lit RPGs do you like, Charlie? Don't get too many lit RPG readers come through here, so I like to question them. All right, let's drop the mountains in here while we're chatting. I'm going to put the mountains in first because those are kind of important. And then we will add our rivers, or add our trees, sorry. Tide and Terra, member level 17, did I see? Rock on. Welcome in, Tide and Terra. I didn't see you sneak in today. You came in the back door, huh? Just trying to be chill, quiet about it. Don't want to make a fuss. Well, pleasure to have you. Welcome in, Tide and Terra. Alright, we're just going to drop some mountains in here. Oh, sorry, y'all couldn't see what I was doing. This is just, we're just getting them on the map right now. I'll improve their positioning with real coastlines and how they overlap the rivers, all that good stuff here in a moment. But first, we just got to slap them down because we are partially recreating this map from an older one. Thank you for all the follows, by the way. I appreciate y'all. And if you don't know, I'm author Alex Knight. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m. Central Time. On Fridays, we make fantasy maps. And when I'm not streaming, well, if I can remember where I'm supposed to click here, sell my books. That's how I make a living. So if you want to support me or the stream, please check out my bio and see if any of my books sound like you might enjoy them. Today, we're working on a map for Wriggly Little Hands. So that's what we're doing. Insarge, good to see you, buddy. How you doing, man? Been a minute. How you been? Charlie, you answered my question. You said you're still kind of new to the lit RPG genre. But Dungeon Crawler Carl, He Who Fights with Monsters, all the skills, Beware of Chicken. You're reading all the greats. Reading all the greats in the format. That's a good place to start, my man. They will not lead you astray, I assure you. Alright, so now we can look at this nice and fresh. And let's get these mountains in here right. Make sure they make sense with everything. Like, see how this one bleeds into the coast, into the water? I can either move the mountain, or what I prefer to do is add a little more coastline following the edge of the mountain. I think it makes the mountain look more natural. Kind of like this. Boom. Any tips for writing a book? Asked Eku. Well, I'll answer first. Someone also asked what we're making it with. We're making this with Incarnate. It's an online map maker. I'll put the name in chat for you there. Love using it. Ton of fun. But tips for writing a book is don't start with writing a book. Basically, do short stories first. Writing a book is like running a marathon, and you don't walk in and just like run a marathon, right? You do practice runs. Start with writing like short stories, novellas, stuff like that, shorter pieces. It'll help you practice writing and get better at it before you attempt to write an entire novel, which can be a very long endeavor. Other than that, the most important thing is remember that the first person that's got to have fun with your story is you. So make sure that you write something that makes you happy, that you like. That's where it's got to start. The readers can tell if you were enjoying the story as you wrote it. So you really just can't fake that. That's got to kind of be a foundational tenet of the story, is that you had fun when you were making it. Outside of that, it's really just kind of do what you want, man. Tell the story that feels important to you, or that you just think would be really cool to read. Write the story you want to read, basically. So now what I'm doing is I'm hiding the beginnings of these rivers in the mountains, because I think it makes them look a little more natural. It looks like they begin somewhere. Though I think this one, the ravine's edge is right here, the cliffside. So I want to not have a river just running right along that, you know? Let's make this guy a little bit bigger. And we're going to take another mountain. And we're going to put it like right there. There we go. Cattywampus, you said you're creating actual maps. Are you doing that for work? That's pretty cool. You said it's fun watching me create fun maps while you create real maps. I love it. I spend way too long looking at maps just for fun, like actual, you know, maps that are from the real world with real purposes. So thank you for taking part in creating those. Alright, I need a... GIS analyst. Wow, yeah. I appreciate that work, my friend. Thank you for doing that. Can I make the Grand Teton Mountains? Teton? Yeah, I mean, we kind of could. I have down here, this range right here is inspired by the Andes. With like how it's high and dry on one side, and then it traps in all the moisture of the Amazon. So that's what we're going for here, is like an Amazon vibe, Amazon rainforest. So that's inspired by real life. I don't have an area yet for the Tetons, but I could certainly find a place to put one. Put it. I don't really know where this mountain's supposed to go. There was a river here originally, but it was running along the cliff edge in a way I didn't like. So I feel like I need a little mountain here. A little guy. Let me grab one of my little mountains. I actually have mountains that are scaled to be smaller. Where are they? I know they're in here somewhere. There we go. Here's one of them. And we're going to put it in here. Maybe not that one though. That's not the exact. That's not a good fit. How about like that guy? That might fit better. Maybe we'll flip it horizontally. There we go. So that'll be a good one for starting this river here that I like. I'm just going to say this river runs like that. Nah, that wasn't it. That could work. Maybe a little more from right in here. I don't know. I'm not loving it. This river's being a difficult one. There we go. We're going to call it like that for a minute. We'll come back and fix it later. Sometimes you just got to leave it. Let it stew. Let it cook. And then come back. Chaster, you said, is it weird that I want my maps to be scientifically accurate? No, I totally get it. I think there's a fun line between completely accurate and rule of cool, just like nice to look at, a fun place to imagine. Especially because, you know, we look at real world maps and think, well, of course the geography or the topography, of course it's like that because it's the real world. But there's some stuff, if you hadn't looked at a map of Earth before, there's some regions you'd look at and go, nah, that couldn't exist. That doesn't make sense. Like, here, hold on one second. Stare at my book cover a moment while I pull this up. I'm going to pull up Google Maps, but if I am zoomed in on it when I start, it just gives away my exact location. Okay. Let's move this into the center. Here we go. So if you go to like right here, the edge of I'm blanking on the name of the mountains. Why can't I remember these? North of India. Someone in chat, you know, I cannot think right now. What the heck are they called? I want to say Alps. It's not Alps. Himalayas. Thank you, JP. I cannot believe I forgot that. If you look at the Himalayas, let's get a geography view here. Terrain. It does not make sense. Like, I mean, I'm sure it does from a geographical standpoint. It's probably a tectonic plate pushing beneath another one. But the fact that you have this lowland like basin here, and then just this insane ridge of impossibly tall mountains, it's wild to look at. Or like go over to Istanbul. Like this strait existing here between two big oceans is just nuts. It doesn't look real, but we accept it as real because of course it is, and it's always been that way. But if you were to see this in a fantasy map, I feel like a lot of people would be like, no, they would never have two such important bodies of water connected just by one little strip of water. But they do. Anyway, there's my rant about real world maps. Connor Prince, you said, fun fact, the Himalayas grow by 1 inch per year in height. I believe it. They're a new, tall, growing mountain range. And as long as their tectonic plates continue to push against one another, they'll continue to rise. Oh, am I echoing? No? Only Prime's here on that? Let me know if I am, chat. I appreciate it. Okay, so I was trying to work on the autumnal valley here. So let's put some trees on in here. Trees on here, trees in here. Thank you for all the follows. I appreciate y'all. It's wonderful to have you here with me. Black Mountain Forge, this is Incarnate, my friend. You're spot on. Alright, so I showed earlier how we have that, like, tool that can place trees, a bunch of trees at once, but this is some pretty narrow confines in here, so I'm going to place most of these manually. It is randomizing my tree stamp, though, so that's nice as I put them in. Let me actually look at my reference map, too, because I know I intentionally had left roads in there. Let's take a little peek. It's just the one road right down the middle. And then over here. So let me actually, you know what? We'll mark those so I can leave them blank so we know that we're going to put roads there. So it lines up like this. There we go. Alright, so I need to grab my paintbrush, paint foreground. Let's make it smaller. I'm going to paint it white for now just because it'll stand out really well. Like a 4. We have a road here that I wanted, and a road here, and then there's an opening, there's a glade here, a meadow perhaps. Okay, there we go. How long did it take me to become this proficient with the editor? I've probably been at this, I don't know, 60 hours maybe. I've been doing it in my free time just because I enjoy it so much. I mean, it's all trial and error, you know? Just keep working with it. What am I making it for, Lance? I am making it for my books. So in my full time, I am a fantasy and science fiction author. I've written these books and many more. And specifically, this map is for this book, A Wriggly Little Hands, my comedy fantasy, about goblins going on a road trip to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapon and help him use it to defeat the pesky forces of good. Except they're goblins, so you know they're going to mess it up. And maybe don't rely on them for important things. Here's the full cover art for it. It's all linked in my bio if that sounds interesting to you. You get Lord of the Rings vibes from the map. Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that any day. And in fact, The book is a satire of some beloved fantasy classics, including Lord of the Rings. So we do have our legally distinct Mordor region here once we finish it out. Let's see. It's going to look like this once it's done. This is the original map I made of it. So we definitely spoof Lord of the Rings a little bit in the book. Who does the cover art, Sterling? So this one was done by Ivan Shavrin. And I always credit my cover artist and my editor and my copy editor in the opening page of the book. But Ivan Shavrin did this one. And he also did the art. I had the pleasure of working with him again for the prequel to Wriggly Little Hands, A Wriggly Little Assistant. I can't get enough of Ivan's art. Dude's incredible. I can't wait to work with him more and more and more. I just got to write more books. How do I find my artists? I keep an eye on like Deviant Art websites like that for artists who are there and posting their work. But I also just kind of have a Rolodex of artists I've worked with in the past or artists that I want to work with. And yeah, just keep an eye out for them, really. How long have I been a full-time author? I have been full-time since 2018. It's 11 books now, I believe. But I was working as a ghostwriter before that for a couple years, as well as a freelance business writer. So I've been writing professionally since about 2015, but I was able to make the jump to full-time author in 2018 with Nova Online. Here, I'll pull it up. This trilogy down here was my oh, if my finger doesn't get cut off. There we go. The purple one on the bottom right. That was my first book, my first trilogy, and still my best-selling to date. So, y'all, if you want to unseat that book, I'd appreciate it. Go check out my newer stuff. Just going to edit the path of this road a little bit. I want it to go right to like here, and I believe there was a bridge between these two. What's the name of the map? I don't have a name for this one yet. I guess the World of Wriggly is what I've been calling it because it's from the book Wriggly Little Hands. Alright, let's get some more trees up in here. And then we're going to paint them that nice orange gold color we had going on because this is for whatever reason, we haven't come up with the lore yet, but this is the land of always fall in this grove. Probably because I'm from a place that doesn't have fall very often, and it's my favorite season, and I'm still mad that I don't get to experience fall very much. So at least I can write it into my books, you know? I can pretend that it's fall. Pretend I live in a place where it's cool and pumpkins are a thing and, I don't know, cooling breezes. Yeah, I can zoom out and show the whole map. Oh, sorry, one second. There we go. Here's the map as we zoom out. It's horizontal, so it doesn't fit too well on the stream, but that's the full map, and then I'll zoom in on a couple areas. It is sad, isn't it, Jordan? No fall. Some people live in the land of always fall. I live in the land of never fall. Where I live is much closer to this area. Swampy, humid, wet. And I don't mind that. I like wetlands. I love wetlands, in fact. But a little bit of fall weather, too, please. Please. Alright, let's keep these trees going in here. And then maybe we can do some painting on it. We can get that beautiful red, gold, orange color that we had. Definitely needs it. Make it stand out. Fat Frog, you said, how does it work for you season-wise? The UK is rainy, but we have perfect seasons, you would say. Yeah, I mean, I lived in the UK briefly, and I was I was a fan of most of the weather, but there was a heat wave my first couple months there, which I guess was, I guess followed me from Florida. So I apologize for that, UK residents. If you remember the summer of 2017, that one's on me, sorry. But, I don't know, I'm in Houston now, so we get decent winters for the South. But no real... We didn't get a fall this year. I just skipped right over it. Other name, you said fall gets shorter every year. It does feel that way, doesn't it? It certainly feels that way. Alright, let's find a nice orange color. We gotta get something in here. Maybe like this guy? It's kind of orangey. I don't know if that's quite what we need, but it's a good start. Mr. Lanique, you love the map. Well, thank you. It's kind of you to say so. I'm glad you like it. I can zoom out a little bit if you want to see more of it. There's a whole lot in here we're working on, but working on a little nice area right now. Fat Frog, you do remember that heat wave summer? Yeah, sorry. Ave, we're using Incarnate. I'll put it in chat for you there. It is a free online map maker. Hey, Jake Hartman over on Video App. Good to see you, buddy. You said New Orleans is also crazy mode for maps. New Orleans is a lovely place. I am fascinated by it. I was able to be there recently for a wedding, and I thought it was a wonderful trip. All right, so we got a red color here. And Jake, how you doing, buddy? Welcome in. Hope you've been doing well. Welcome back to Fantasy Map Friday. All right, so we're going to get some of this red in here. Let me go ahead and favorite that so I don't lose it. I'm notorious for losing colors. We're going to do red, orange, and green, I believe was how I pulled this off last time. Let's see. If we zoom in on it. Yeah, so we had like a red, orange, and brown vibe going on. We're going to try to recreate that in the slightly more saturated Parchment World map. So maybe we use this green. I'm liking this green a little more. It's a little different than the other green on the map. A little thinner, a little drier almost. It makes me feel it's got more of a fall vibe to it. So painting the colors here is one of my favorite things to do on these maps because it feels like actual painting. So what you do is you get a bigger brush size, you turn your opacity down a little bit, and you just kind of dab it in. I'm just clicking. I'm going to click, 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 and you just kind of splotch it in, right? Then you grab your other color, you turn the opacity down similarly, and you splotch that one in. And then you grab your third color, and you do the same thing. And you just kind of work them all together. And it creates a new color. The idea is to get random splotches, but kind of intermixed a little bit. So we haven't done it strong enough yet. I want when you zoom out to be able to see that it's a different climate up there. So we got to do a little more color. Let's up our opacity a bit. Is that the right term? I am increasing the opacity. That makes it more visible. So I guess we are upping the opacity. I'm going to start, I'm going to do the whole thing with a base of red. Let's start there. So you see it should be very visible. That's what I want. Like that. So when we zoom out, your eye is drawn to this region. So now we're going to add this gold orange color. Gabby, yes, it's Incarnate. Thank you to everybody who answered her question in chat. Incarnate is the website, and you can make your own fantasy maps on it. It's lovely for it. What do you write, Gabby? What stories you got going on? All right, let's get this gold in here a little bit. Now we're going to put a bit of the green. And then back to the red a little bit. Now let's see what that looks like when we zoom out. It's okay. It's okay. I think it's not as blended as it could be. A little more. Is there a brighter orange that I could grab? It doesn't look like it. I love this style of map. The one downside is it is a little bit washed out. That's why the art style works, though. Tyler, you said I struggle with the length of books sometimes. Would you say yours are in the 10-hour reads or so? Yeah, not all of them, but I can tell you Wriggly Little Hands, because I know the audiobook length is just over 10 hours. That's a shorter one. I think Servant of Rage is like 14 hours probably. Far Wild is like 12 hours. So yeah, they're mostly in there, but Wriggly is my shortest one at just over 10. Oh, didn't mean to make that color. So I'm gonna try a brighter orange yellow in here. I think it's actually my desert color, but I'm just gonna do a base of that and then put a little bit of red on top of it. A low opacity red. Try to get that gold, that orange, that autumnal orange we want to come out. Thank you for the follows, everybody. I appreciate you. Super kind of you. But thanks for being here with me on this Friday morning. Lovely way to start the day. Alright. I think this is still not as bright as I want it to be. Yeah, I think we need to go way heavy-handed on this. Let's just go for that full lovely red. And I'm just going to do some very light splotching of our other two colors here. Just to kind of break up the edges a bit. And now a little bit of green in there. I think that's not bad. It definitely stands out from the other terrain. I think it's okay for the moment. It's not my favorite. We need to improve it. Firefan, we are using Ink Carnate to make this. I'll put it in chat for you. Mothman, that's straight creepy, my dude. Coming in with the two red glowing points of light. Dude, I spent a lot of time in Appalachia, so I'm well aware of the Mothman legend. And have spent many a dark night on the mountainside hoping to not see the glowing red eyes in the night. Welcome in, my friend. What, in the Elden Ring? Titan Terra, you said maybe we paint each tree like the other one? We could. It's gonna change the parchment vibe, though, by making him stand out too much, I think. I think part of the strength of this map style is it all blending together a little bit, as opposed to like this one is so vibrant, but it doesn't look like a map in the front of a book. So I think while this is more beautiful color-wise, this one blends a bit better for a book. Oh, this is Ink Carnate for those that are asking. It's an online map maker, and we're making the map for my book, Wriggly Little Hands, which is out now. An audiobook, ebook, paperback, signed paperback, whatever format you want, linked in bio, so please check it out. And this is the world that it takes place in. At least a part of it. We're not done with it yet. We got a lot more work on it. Cloud and no, Black Mountain said Grandpa Tolkien didn't paint his maps, and you don't need to either. Gabby, you want the plot for the book? Sure. We'll do the pitch real quick. Wriggly Little Hands is a comedy fantasy where a bumbling family of goblins go on a road trip to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapon so they can help him defeat those pesky forces of good. But they're goblins, so they mess it up at every opportunity. They can't stay on task, they get distracted, they go on side quests. Someone gives them a rocket wagon, that was a bad decision. And it's just kind of a comedy, goofy satire of classic fantasy novels. It's very goofy. I had a lot of fun writing it, and it's been really well received, so I appreciate everybody that's bought it and read it and reviewed it. And the sequel is coming out next year. I'm working on that one now. Thank you. You guys are too kind. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it, Gabby. It was definitely... It took me... It took me 10 books to finally write one that was that goofy and that silly, and I really, really like it. Okay, I think I know how to make this stand out. We're going to do the trees, this nice yellow color, this orange gold color, and then we're going to do the surround, this red color, like that. Now let's see how that stands out when we zoom. And then we're going to leave the coloring because I can play with it all day. Yeah, that's what we're going for. I think it needs a little bit to break it up in there. But I'm liking that. So let's just do a little. We're going to get a smaller red brush. We're going to turn the opacity down. And we're just going to, just a couple clicks in here. Just a few. Don't go too heavy-handed. A couple clicks in there. There we go. All right. Hit save. I'm going to call that coloring done for now. Mill, you said this looks like the Avatar The Last Airbender map. I'll take it. I'll take it. I think it looked more like that map when it used to be more ocean heavy. I think it... Yeah, see, it used to have more oceans like this. That one looks a little more like that. Mothman, you said I was going to request a layer, but since this is lore accurate, I'll wait till you make it how I want. Or wait till I make a random map. Ah, that's fine. I do that. So like this was, we took a little side quest of our own and just made a one-off map. This was a really fun one. So we'll do that again because the big map takes forever to work on. It's you know, it's mostly a world map, whereas this is just a little region. But it was a fun one. Meg, you said you're pondering ways to get a 6th grade classroom to read Wrigley. Well, thank you. I know we have one of the folks in Discord is a teacher and was reading it to their classroom. So that was pretty cool to hear, man. Kai, the book is named Wriggly Little Hands. I can put it up for you right there. There it is. And it's linked in my bio if you want to check it out. Peyton, you love Incarnate? Yeah, Incarnate's amazing, isn't it? I literally started just making maps in it like it was a video game. Just having an absolute blast. Such a lovely program. Alright, I think there were a few hills that needed to get dropped in here. So let me grab my hills. And we're going to put a few of these hills in here. Jake Hartman over on Video App said, on an unrelated note, Audible is running a winter sale and Wriggly Little Hands audiobook was a hit with the kids stuck in the car traveling. Oh, rock on, man. I'm glad they enjoyed it. I mean, it's plenty goofy. I've heard a lot of folks have listened to it on road trips. So I guess if you're traveling for the holidays, why not, huh? Did y'all listen to it recently? Is that why you said that? Oh, that mountain. That hill's a little bit big, huh? It's supposed to be smaller than the mountains, believe it or not. Good morning, Meet Your Doom. Welcome in, buddy. Kai, it will ship to the UK, but you could just get it through. I can't. It doesn't want me to say this, so TikTok, stop listening for a moment. It's for sale on Amazon, so you can get it through UK Amazon. .co.uk to pick it up there if you wanted to ship to the UK. Mix in small rocks at the bottom of the hills. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. There is such thing as too detailed though, and I often find it by putting too much detail in because it looks good at this level of zoom, but I always have to remember that the map is meant to be viewed at this level, right? So like you can't even see the hills that I'm placing right now, really. Firefan, you asked if it's walk around fantasy. I'm not sure what that means. Can you elaborate? Titan Terror, you know me well. He said Alex's doom is in the details and the cliffs. For those new to stream, I maybe have a little too much fun putting cliffs and ravines and canyons in my maps. I'll show you an example here in a moment. After I get this, I don't like. That's not the right mountain though. What do we want? Do we want this one? What mountain do I want here? Probably this one. No, that's the same as what's already there. I guess it's got to be like this guy, just a little bit smaller. I want to break the front of this river up, the beginning of it, so you can't see truly where it begins at. And then we're going to paint a little extra land here. Here's an incarnate tip for you. See how my mountain, see how it runs into the ocean right there? That kind of looks a little weird. Just add a little extra land there following it. And it looks like it's meant to be. Well, that didn't mean to do that. I deleted a mountain somehow. My Control-Z is acting up. Well, we can get another mountain in there. That's not so hard. Now, why are they grouped? That's so interesting. You see, so when I Control-Z, it's deleting stamps that I've touched but not done anything with recently. I know they're shifting Incarnate to Incarnate 2.0, which is pretty sick, honestly. The features have been incredible, but it seems like there's little glitches in the system. Just a few glitches in the system. But they'll get it worked out, I'm sure. Let's go ahead and hit save here. Jeff, the mountains are not blocking the river. It's more that the river originates in the mountains. As water collects on the mountainside, it forms little streams, which eventually flow together to make the river. So I like to have the rivers kind of like disappear up into the mountains to hint at that idea of how they're being formed. Name of the website, for those asking, is Incarnate. And I am making a fantasy map for my fantasy book, which is linked in my bio. Guardian, yeah, Incarnate, that's what I use to make maps. Jake Hartman, you said, yeah, we visited my father-in-law in the sticks. It was a 12-hour drive one way. Whew! That's quite a trek, my dude. I hope it was a good visit, though. Robin, you posted your map in Discord? Alright, I'll check it out. Is it an art share, I'm assuming? I don't see it in there. Where'd you post it, Robin? It's not general. I see you joined, so welcome in. Pleasure to have you there. But I don't see it in art share. Oh, you DM'd it to me. Gotcha. You okay if I show it on stream, Robin? The yellow lines, Firefan, are... I'll show you in a minute. Or I'll show you now. So, this region in the center is actually a smaller map that I worked on. It's this region here. And I'm expanding it out, right? So like it fits over like this. But those yellow lines are where I made lava trenches in this legally distinct Mordor. And the lava trenches, these things here, and the fire ravines, these were really hard to make. And I'm gonna have to recreate them, but man, did it take a lot of work. So these yellow lines are where they are. It's just the trenches. And I am putting off working on them because it's so much work. You can't play in this map. It's just a map. It's not like a video game. But I'm writing a book there, so you can read the adventures that happen here. In fact, here's book 1. It's out now. I'm working on the sequel. It's all linked in my bio. Okay, cool, Robin. Robin sent me a map that they were working on for Incarnate, so here we go. Let's see if we can get it in screen a little bit better. Very nice, Robin. Here's something else you can make with Incarnate. I love this frozen area up in here. I love these big old ice mountains going on. I love the color of the ocean, too. Big props for making the shoreline a lighter blue and then deeper water, darker blue. That's pretty sick. Rock on, man. I dig it. Well, I love the swampy vibe down here. You got some, my big old head's in the way. You got some nice like swampy trees going on down here. I dig it. Kind of jungly. Rock on, man. Very nice. Looks like an arc map. I'll take that. I'll take that. Oh, it's its own asset, Robin? Did you made those? Let me take a look again. Interesting. Very cool. You use Wonderdraft, Firefan. Yeah, Wonderdraft's great too. There are a lot of wonderful map makers out there. Wonderdraft, Canvas of Kings, Dungeon Draft, etc. I love them all. They're so fun to work with. All right, well, y'all, I think I'm pretty happy with the progress today. We made this entire area, which you can't see because it's covered in fog, because it's a mysterious area, but we filled in the forest and the hills and the river down there. And then we made this whole area today. Our land of always fall up in here. Pretty good progress. Next time, who knows what we'll do? Lava ravines next Friday, asked Tara. Ah, man. I'm still hurt from the last time we made the lava. And it took, I think, an entire stream, like 2.5 hours just to do these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ravines and a lake. It took forever. We'll do it at some point. At some point, I'll muster it up. At some point, we got to finish doing Cypress over here too. Tied off on the edge of the map right now, but we'll get to it. What's the name of the app? It is inkcarnate.com. But everybody, thank you for being here today. I think I got to go get to my work day and actually write some books to sell. I can't sell them if I don't write them. But y'all, thank you for joining me today. And as a reminder, I've been author Alex Knight. And if you want to check out my books, well, they're all linked in my bio. They're on Amazon and Audible and every place that you buy books, basically. So please check them out. And thank you for joining me today. It's been a pleasure. As a reminder, I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Central Time. On Fridays, we make maps. On Mondays, we do Q&A about writing. I take all your questions about what it's like being an author, how you can be an author, how to learn to write, professional questions about the industry, publishing, all that fun stuff. And on Wednesdays, we kind of mix it up. Who knows what we're going to do? So yeah, come on back for the next one. It's been a pleasure having you. So as always, thank you to Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com for the use of his songs Farm, Manor, Cottages, and Northern Glade, which have provided our background music today. It's playing right now. A special thanks to community member Raffi the Engineer. He popped in earlier. He composed our 5th background song, Midnight at the Round Table. Raffi, I appreciate you, man. Made that just for stream. How cool of him. As always, a shout out to my excellent moderators, Melissa Lee 28, Raffi the Engineer, One Happy Harpy, The Seth Ward, Melissa Lee, I said Melissa, other name wasn't available, aka Slindy, Leisha T, and Aaron Winnick. But also, thank you to chat. You guys keep it chill. I appreciate you hanging out, not needing much moderation, just bringing the good vibes to kick off the day. It is a pleasure to start my day with y'all, and I appreciate you being here with me. So if you had a good time, please give me a follow so I can catch you on the next one. Bloof, you said add a big volcano. My man, there will be. Right here. We just got to finish coloring it in. It's going to look like this bad guy right here once we get it done. So yeah, nice big nasty volcano in there, our legally distinct Mordor. But yeah, thank you for joining me today, folks. It's been a pleasure having you. I will see you on the next one. And hey, be excellent to each other, y'all. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.